All right, welcome everyone. I'm going to do another director's commentary. This time I'm going to try to zoom in or have Ty Tessmann join in on a Zoom meeting. We're going to kind of watch this one together. I think I've got the technology pretty much figured out. Basically, he's going to watch the video. He can see it, but he can't hear it. So I'm going to try to guide him through what's being said. But for the most part, I think he remembers that event. He sort of won the thing, if I recall. I don't know. But this is one of my favorite Come Drive With Us episodes ever. Because for me, they're kind of like home videos. Hey, Mark Suso, what's up? They're sort of like home videos, and this one was really special to me because it was the first time I ever went to an IFMAR event in my whole life. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. Plus, the Tessmanns did so much for me in starting Come Drive With Us. So it was awesome to see Ty win the thing. Pardon me while I get a little distracted here as I start my Zoom meeting, so that Mr. Tessmann can join. Enter full screen. All right. So yeah, we're pretty much set. He's going to call in a few minutes. I even got a new shirt for the occasion. Somebody way smarter than me told me that I needed to get a tan or change my color, so I went to kind of an off-white, not so bright. But hey, I mean, you never know who's going to watch. Might get lucky, right? Somebody from Netflix or ESPN could tune in, right? Might get lucky. Anyways. Yeah, so I'm just going to give Ty a couple minutes here. And if you guys have any questions, I've got my chat aggregator going, so I should see all the messages coming in from Facebook as well as YouTube. I see Nathan from Australia is on. Hi, Nathan. How are you? So, yeah, fire me any questions. I'll try to... hi, Tim. What's up? I'll try to respond to any questions as we get through this. The video is 46 minutes. I'm showing the director's cut. It's got a few extra scenes, not a whole bunch of stuff. The thing about ProLine is they always want me to trim down the time a little bit. So yeah, I usually do a web cut and then a director's cut. Kind of got away from doing the director's cuts because I mean, the whole process is time consuming to begin with. So doing two cuts is always pretty special. But yeah, so Ty's going to join in 1 minute. I'm just killing some airtime here. I'm cheap, so I didn't pay for Zoom. So I got 45 minutes, I think is what it is, before it'll end the call. But, we'll deal with that when we get there. If we go over time, I'll just have to call Ty in again or something. But it's a beautiful day up here in Canada. Kind of missing shooting these episodes that Come Drive With Us. I've been doing a lot of mountain biking. Been enjoying the outdoors, even though there's a pandemic going on. And I've got my relax juice because I'm not the biggest fan of this side of the lens, as I've mentioned frequently. So yeah, any questions? Like I said, just fire away. Giving Ty just a couple minutes here, killing some time. Huge shout out to my sponsors, the RC Depot, that's under new ownership now. Sorry about your luck, Kara. Yeah, so also 5150 is putting this on, and ProLine pays for the whole series, so that's awesome. Thank you, ProLine. All right, we got Mr. Tessmann on board. Hi there, Ty. How are you? Oh, sorry, got the wrong camera going on here. Ooh. So the big white blob is Ty. Let me fix that. Speaker view. Okay, he should. Oh, dang it! I had him.
Got it.
There we go.
Yep.
So what's new, Ty?
Not a whole lot. We went to our first race since March last weekend, which was nice to get back at it. We're doing a lot of stuff around here, trying to catch up on stuff that was getting put in the back burner, and going to track a lot to test stuff and getting a lot of practice in. So yeah, it's been good.
So no U.S. races at all for you?
Not right now. No, I don't know if we'll be able to race. I really don't know what happens because it's just all over the place with what the borders are and everything. So they say they're gonna be open, then they keep pushing it back. So I really don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, you can fly down, but when you come back, you have to basically have no life for 14 days.
Yeah, you have to quarantine, which means not going to the track or anything like that. So it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
and then
you could put that forelink into, what was it, Wide Booty Trudy?
Big Booty Judy.
Big Booty Judy, whatever.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
All right, cool. So have you done any Canadian races?
Yeah, we just did Kamloops last weekend, and it was actually really fun. The track was really cool. It was kind of old school, loamy. Just kind of stuff we don't get to race on much anymore, so it was cool to go back to that. And then we have Calgary next weekend for their race, their Stampede race, I think it's called, and then Quebec Classic after that, the weekend after.
Nice.
So it'll be one of the more Canadian races I've done in a long time, in a year.
So do you like the Canadian races, or do you prefer the U.S. races?
No, it's fun to go back and do Canadian races. Like, it's not something I get to do very often, but it's a little bit more laid back, more relaxed atmosphere, and just kind of more of a fun race than so much a job, I guess. Even though it doesn't really feel like a job, but it just feels more fun and
right,
more relaxed, I should say, in Canada.
Right. All right, cool. I'm just gonna head over to the video here, and we're just gonna kind of watch it. And I didn't really walk Ty through the process. We're basically just watching it. He can't hear it, unfortunately. I haven't figured out my my mixer settings yet, but we're just gonna watch this episode together and get Ty's thoughts on the various scenes. So I'm just gonna switch my camera here, and hopefully this all works.
You want me to switch my camera to sideways?
No, we're good. We're good. I can fix the cropping here while we go.
Yeah.
So so what Gord was saying at the start there, he's saying you never really know who's going to win the Worlds because it is pretty unpredictable. So what are your thoughts on the unpredictability of the event, and why is it so unpredictable?
I think it would be better if we could do more races to decide the World Championship, but the reason I think it's probably unpredictable is usually we go to a track that not many people know what it's like it's nobody's really home track, so you have kind of a new surface, usually new place that we're at, and then again it's the Worlds, so everybody's more nervous. I think there's a lot more pressure put on it, even though it's the same as Nitro Challenge, the same as the Nationals. It's really no harder to win, I don't think, as far as competition goes in Nitro Challenge, but there's like that mental game of it being the World Championships and being so important and so sought after, which I think maybe that's part of why it's more difficult, because it's in your head, it's more of a challenge than it should be. And it's just, I mean, like, there's been pretty much every Worlds for the last, as many as I can remember, there's been one person that's kind of stood out, or a couple people that have really stood out, that is, you can kind of tell it's their weekend.
Yeah.
So it really depends on how you feel too, when the race comes, and how your stuff's working and how your tires work at that track. So there's a lot of things that go into it that just create a perfect storm for whoever's going to win.
Right. So what was it like doing this race in Italy? Was this your first trip to Italy?
Yeah, back then it was the first trip to Italy. We'd heard about the surface. We didn't really know what to expect. We heard it was going to be really high bike, which up until that point we really hadn't experienced. So I think it was a good, kind of a clean slate for everyone, because none of us really knew or driven on something like that.
Right. Yes, because Italy's like super sports crazy, and I'm just curious, like, was it, from a World's perspective, was it a really different atmosphere because of that?
Yeah, it seemed like people, especially at the end when I won, there was a lot of excitement and a lot more people than I was expecting to be at the bottom of the stairs, which was really cool. And I haven't seen that since, being such a welcome party, I guess, at the bottom of the stairs. So for all the Worlds I've been at, it's probably one of the best. Yeah,
well, we'll get into that a little bit more. What did you think about the actual town and the atmosphere of Giardini Naxos?
It was pretty cool. I mean, the restaurants we went to every night were kind of the same. Like, they were all different restaurants, but it was all very similar food, which, I mean, being there for 12 days kind of got a little old, but it was a good experience, and we had gelato every night but one, so that was really cool.
Right.
So, I mean, the town was pretty cool. It was really old school, not old school, but
Right.
you get a lot of history there. So
Yeah.
it was kind of see that and experience that. And I think that was one of the. I hadn't been to a whole bunch of different countries yet back
Yeah.
then, so it was still something different than I'd seen, which is pretty cool.
So transitioning from the town to the track, what did you think of the mixed surface?
I thought it was cool. I mean, like I've seen World Championships before 2014 and 2014 that had a lot of mixed surfaces, which I always think is kind of neat. Haven't seen it much since, really, but
Right.
the concrete, and then there was I think there was a painted section at Italy, right? There was that corner that was painted.
Yeah. Yeah. There was like
And then
paving stones. There was wood railway ties or 2x4s or something laid down.
Yeah, it kind of makes it more. I mean, that's more European style, I think.
Yeah.
But it's still nice to have that kind of mixed in. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it's the same for everybody in those sections that were in Italy anyway. It didn't change really, so it's not like there was disadvantage from one heat to the next. So I think if they can do that with make it not change, it's good to have different surfaces.
Was it pretty consistent? Let's not talk about the rain because that's coming in 15 minutes or so. But was the track pretty consistent when it was dry?
Yeah, I think the first run, there might have been some dust on the first run. I don't know if they had put a coating on it or something, but once that wore off, it was the same grip pretty much the entire time. I mean, even after the rain, it came back to what it was before.
Right.
Maybe more because it washed some of the dirt in between the pores off.
Yeah.
So I might even had more after it, but it was, as far as being consistent to qualify on, for sure, it was really good.
So did you stick with fugitives pretty much the whole time, or did you jump around a bit?
From what I can remember, I might have tried like a low pin, either a bar tire or something like that, but it didn't feel as comfortable to me as the fugitive and the same speed. So I just went with the fugitive because it was fast. Yeah. It was easy to drive. It lasted, so I knew I could be on for the mains.
So 2014 was a pretty stellar year for you. You doubled at Nitro Challenge. You won Neo that year. What other big races did you win that year prior to the Worlds?
I won the Nationals in Nitro Buggy. I got second in Truggy, but I think that might have been it for the major wins. Like maybe these smaller races.
So you were top ranked driver, and what Cody's talking about here, and what the topic here is that the top ranked driver pretty much never wins this race. There was there a lot of pressure going in, and did you know that the top ranked driver almost never wins?
I had heard people say that, like whoever's kind of leading through the year and the fastest, kind of the guy to beat, usually doesn't win the Worlds. But it didn't really make me nervous. It kind of made me more determined to do good and kind of break that habit or streak, I guess you'd say. So, but I knew for sure what he was talking about, and that they said the guy that you expect to win never does. So, and I mean, it felt really good to win. I don't know how many people expect me to win, but it definitely felt really good to finally do it.
Yeah, because like in 2008, Hara basically shocked everyone, and like he came out of nowhere and won it on fuel economy.
Well, I don't know if he won it on fuel economy. I think he had to have been there. It's not like he was in a half a lap down and he won.
Yeah, fair enough.
He was fast the whole week. He was very consistent. He knew what the track did from the warm up. How at night it got a little bit damper. Kind of moisture came up through the track. So he was prepared for that, and he just played the right game. And I mean, the fuel stop did help him, but it's not what won him the race, I don't think.
Yeah, because we're just. Sorry, go ahead.
If you look at how much further ahead he was of Trui at the end, it's like the fuel stop won him the race, but he was also driving accordingly to make his fuel last. So I'm sure it would have been competitive even without it. But yeah, he earned it for sure. It wasn't just given to him.
Yeah, because I spent the week trying to pick a dark horse. Like I was obviously hoping you'd win, being that I'm fairly patriotic and that we're friends and stuff. But I was trying to pick a dark horse, and Martin Walenka had ended up winning. I think it was the Euros he won, and I really wanted to give him wash his hair, but he had a couple good qualifiers. But I was trying to pick a dark horse. So was there a dark horse threat at that race for you?
I mean, Lee Martin was really fast towards the end of qualifying and in the semis.
Yeah, we'll talk about him. Yeah.
So it kind of got me looking at him more, but he also had that flame out, I think. I don't know what pit stop it was at, but it was shortly after pit stop or before something in the semi, so it kind of took him out. But he was probably the fastest guy besides Mayfield that I think from what I remember, like the standout guy. So
yeah, well, Mayfield's hardly a dark horse, but
no, I mean people that you're kind of looking at.
Yeah. How did you like the pit situation? Because a couple worlds, the pits were like everybody was kind of scattered and it sort of sucked. Whereas here, everybody was kind of together.
Yeah, they did more teams here, I think. Is that what you mean, or all under one tent?
All under one tent, with the exception of Kyosho.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of neat. That again does a little bit different feel for the worlds. Like in Australia, they did the similar thing, and I mean Vegas was different, but it seems like when we go to different countries, they all kind of have one big white tent and everybody pits under it for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like anybody hates each other's guts or anything that much that they can't stand pitting under the same tent as someone else. So.
Are you sure about that?
Well, yeah, we're pretty good under the
yeah. So stick radios. Have you ever tried racing an 8-scale buggy with a stick radio?
I haven't tried racing it. I tried driving one, but that was a very long time ago, and it was I could get it down okay, like I could get around the track, but just braking was what I struggled with.
Yeah.
When I go to hit the brake, I would hit the throttle for some reason, and it would not go well.
Yeah. So now we're transitioning into the qualifying. How many days of practice was it? Was it like 5 or 6 or 7 days of practice?
From what I can remember, it was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And
was that too long?
Yeah, it was too long. It's been too long every Worlds. Like, it's always too much practice and too many days. Like, they run, I think, once or twice per day, which is, I mean, it can be improved. And I think they're improving for the next one. Like, they were going to do it in Brazil if it would have happened. So I think they have plans to fix that. But yeah, those races were too long.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the last Charlie and Scotty shows, or Scotty and Charlie. I don't know who gets top billing in that front, but
yeah,
one of the last times they came out.
Yeah, Charlie is definitely entertaining on the mic.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially after some juice. Just trying to hear what they're talking about here. I think they're strategizing about setup. How important was setup on this track?
I think it was pretty important. Like, the tires didn't seem like there was a real difference in anybody's tires. It wasn't like one person was running away with tires, so that's something that was kind of different from nowadays. But the setup to get your car easy to drive on that surface was probably the biggest challenge, because everyone had so much grip that just making your car drivable and be able to do consistent laps.
Right.
And make it rounding the corners instead of so choppy and wiggly almost. So I think setup was really important, and that's something that we had.
So Rona Falk, I was just listening to the commentary from Garrison. Rona Falk ended up being top seed. I can't remember where you ended up seeding, but it was like 4th or 5th or something. I can't remember. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But how did you attack practice? Did you go for 10-minute runs, or were you going for fastest 3 consecutive?
No, I was definitely running like I would a qualifier, because I wanted my car to be able to go through the whole qualifier without crashing.
Yeah.
And I usually am not concerned about the 3-lap stuff. Like, even when in seating nowadays, I'm kind of just running my practice, and I have seating in my mind, so I know what's happening. So if I get behind someone or in a big mess of cars, I'll stop and wait and give myself room. But it's not like I'm doing 1 lap as fast as I can and try to string another 2 laps together. It's just driving around consistently as I would in a qualifier, and then however I end up.
Right.
So, but you know that you're in seating. It's in the back of your mind, but that's not something I focus on.
Gotcha. Yeah, here we're back to Walenka, the unknown driver potentially winning. How was Dakota? Like, you guys were teammates back then. He was fairly high ranked. Was he much of a threat?
I don't honestly. I don't remember it being that much. Like, it was not enough to be in my mind. It might have been. It might just, that's something I've forgotten. But I don't know if I was. I mean, everybody. I don't want to say that I was counting anybody out, but there was definitely people that stood out more than others.
Right.
Just from my memory, because it was quite a few years ago. So.
Yeah.
I know he's always fast and stuff, but I don't know if that was one of the ones that I was really worried about a whole bunch.
Well, back then Drake was still working on his stuff, so it usually held together for mains.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think they might have had a new car or a newish car then for the World, so they might have been working on.
So I know you're with HB then. Did you guys have a lot of new stuff for that race? I think it was like a radio tray and a wing mount or something.
I think it was the wing mount, radio tray, and I don't even remember.
I mean, obviously the Lexan wing, which was pretty revolutionary.
Yeah, I think that from what I can remember, that's all that was different on the cars. But that Lexan wing for sure was something that caught everybody's attention.
Was there any drama around the Lexan wing as far as the rules go?
Not that I can remember. I think we made sure it was if more legal back then. Like now they have those big ridiculous sides that we have to use, but back then it wasn't. They weren't enforcing that rule, so it wasn't. I mean, those guys didn't really bat an eye at it.
Right.
From what I remember, anyway. But it definitely stirred stuff up with the drivers and kept people looking and thinking about it. So that's cool.
So here we're talking about Lee a little bit. He was pretty consistent. Like he only finished outside the top 5 in one round, if I recall, in qualifying.
Yeah.
So like, did he scare you much at all? Like, and it's weird because he's mostly a 10 scale guy, right?
Yeah, he's mostly a 10 scale guy, which, I mean, if you think about it, this track was kind of like a carpet track as far as grip goes, so there wasn't a lot of bumps, so it was, I mean, not to take anything away from him, but it was kind of more, I would say he's more used to it than some of the other drivers maybe.
Yeah.
So that might have been why, but I mean, he is fast in places, like he's been a threat at a few races, so it's not like it's out of the picture for him to be good at 8 scale.
Right. Yeah, he's talking about the new car. They showed up with the MBX 7R.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember they were kind of, it seems like some people don't like new cars, like they have to struggle with them because they don't have enough time on them or whatnot, but they might have been struggling with that rear end setup they had when they first came out with it.
Right.
I remember.
So Frederick Lauren Lapierre is asking if he should reserve a spot for you at the Quebec Classic.
I think I'm registered already. I'm not. I thought I was.
We'll just say sure. Why not?
Okay.
So here we're talking about Mayfield. He's talking about if Marsh starts. So because this track was so huge, like lap times were in the 50-second range? How did you pace yourself during qualifying against guys like Mayfield, Fend, Martin, anyone in your heat?
I mean, basically the same as I always do it. I just kind of look. I kind of keep track of where people are on the track, and if a lane comes next to me or next to my lane somewhat close, I can usually see if they're gaining or if I'm gaining or losing time on them.
Yeah.
Even though it's a big track, it's still out of my peripheral vision. I can usually see kind of what's going on. But they don't really announce at World Championship events so much, so you kind of have to go as fast as you can, and hopefully it's fast enough at the end, which now we have headsets that you can talk to each other, that stuff. So kind of.
So here these guys are all talking about how crisp your engine is and how it looks like an e-buggy on the track. Was this when you guys released the first Ty OS?
No, this was before, when we had the 2101 was still pretty new, I think.
Okay.
Like it maybe been out for a few months, or 6 months or something. But we had been testing it a long time before that and running it. And I mean, my OS engine is run since that engine's come out. It's always been the same and runs the same. So it was something that wasn't real new, but the Ty Tessmann engine came out after I won the Worlds.
Right. Because at this point, the talk already started that it was your race to lose.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think I had, after the seating practice, my car felt really good, and I think I was the fastest for the first 3 qualifiers.
4. No, was it 3? Oh, it was 3, and then the rain came.
Yeah, I had 2 bad ones.
Yeah. 2 super bad ones. Like 20th, and it's too embarrassing to talk about a number bigger than 20.
Yeah.
So here we're talking about your pace. Like, do you remember what your gaps were over, like how much of a margin of victory were you getting in each qualifier?
I don't remember. I think it varied a little bit. I'm not even sure. Maybe 3 seconds, 4 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but at the top level, it really
Well,
is
at
a
that
lot.
level, it's huge.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly, so don't quote me
Yeah.
on that. But
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like Mike True. We're just talking about his '08 worlds. Like, it was almost disappointing because, like, I was a huge Losi guy back then, and I was rooting for him big time because that was 2008. His season was kind of like yours. Like, he won so many races that year, and then he came to the worlds and ended up top qualifying, but didn't follow through.
yeah,
So, like, was that at all in the back of your mind about doing really good in the qualifiers and then having something crappy happen in the semis or the final?
yeah, that's always in my mind. Like no matter what race we are at, um, if you qualify first, it feels like you have the most pressure on me, which is probably for a good reason because there's everybody's watching and expecting you to win since you top qualified. So making sure your car's ready and together and not going to fall apart, and then driving good enough and
Yeah.
hoping that electronics don't fail. There's just so many things that you can't control. So the things you can control, you're stressing about and making sure you
Yeah.
can do everything you can to make it last. So,
Is True he
but
still race?
I think he races kind of casually. Yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty underrated. Like he races like 2 or 3 times a year, and he puts it into the B and sometimes the A mains at these major events.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
How much of a factor is age? Like, we're looking at, well, Drake's now 40 plus, Mayfield's 33ish. Like, are these guys? Do you think they're going to start dropping off soon?
I don't know. I mean, it really depends on how much work you put in, I think. Like,
Yeah.
even though your reaction time slows down when you get old, like, it's a known thing. It's not just not picking on people. Just
Yeah.
that's what happens. So I think if you put the work in and keep sharp, you can go a lot longer than some people that just kind of are putting in bare minimum time or
Right.
just put enough effort and stay on there. If you can work at it like Adam does, you can still be there. I mean, I think Mayfield, Jared, and Cavallari are some of the, like, they've held on the longest, I think, of the pro drivers.
Yeah.
What I can recall in this like past.
So what are you doing on screen here? Walk me through this.
So that's when it started raining. We saw the rain was coming, so we built front rear clip and center diff with lighter diff oils and different setups to try to combat the rain. Which, I mean, it helped, but still, you can't. If you don't have traction, you can't go fast, no matter what your car's like. So it was. I mean, we did all we could to make it go as fast as we could in the rain. Just didn't have the grip to do it. Like seeing coming out of that corner is just like ice. So that's kind of what we were doing there, just scrambling. I think we changed it the race before that to make sure we could do everything we could have to make the car good. And it helped, but it wasn't enough to have a decent, usable qualifying because it's just so slippery.
Yeah, I think who was the top qualifier? Was it Martin Bear this round? It was
I think, yeah, I don't know if Martin did. I think
I know he TQ'd one of them. I know I interviewed him, and his English at that point was, yeah, that's right. This was round 5 this was round 4, and he TQ'd round 4.
Yeah.
He was pretty happy. He's saying, it's not really a TQ. It's kind of like a fake TQ.
But I think Kyle McBride did one.
Yeah, Kyle did the next one, yeah. Yeah, he ended up just running like M3 hole shots or something weird, but yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely that one when the track, whoever TQ'd had the driest track.
Yeah, because at this point you had three TQs, and then like a 40th or something super crappy. And then I think the next shot is your dad saying that you may have TQ'd the first 3 and you'll have to qualify out of the quarters or something.
Yeah, if I didn't get another good one, it would have happened like a failure or something. I mean, the track was dry for the last round.
Yeah.
But if I would have had a failure or crashed or something, it could have been really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so now we're on the last day of qualifying, so rounds 5 and 6, and this is where you absolutely needed at least one good one. A TQ would have gotten you like overall TQ.
Yeah. Well,
no, there's a good shot of the mud.
Yeah. It's just super slimy.
Yeah.
So even I can't remember what I had to get, but I was like a top 5 and I would have still been TQ. So as long as I did that, but it's not easy when it comes down to one qualifier and you're got that much stress, pressure. And
that's right. Oh, and here Tim Clark from General Manager Proline is asking why you guys didn't test on wet concrete. Yeah, your dad's like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, those were not real comfortable times, those 2 rounds.
No, for sure. And this is round 5 here, and it's just soup, absolute soup.
It's just slime. Yeah. Even though it's concrete, I think there's something on top that I was talking about that earlier. It got washed away, like a little bit of dust or dirt or something that made it have no grip.
Yeah, yeah. They spackled glued some kind of dirt on it or something. I'm not really sure. Yeah, that's the scene where your dad's talking about ending up in the quarters.
Yeah.
And you need a good run, is what he's saying.
I think Mayfield was in the same boat though as me because he was in the same boat.
Yeah, Kyle McBride TQ'd round 5.
Yeah.
Bear round 4, and then this leaves round 6 kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
And there's was that Josh Wheeler? No way.
Yeah, that was Josh Wheeler.
Yeah. And Jared Thibault and some miscellaneous TLR guy. So does your mom frequently travel to the the races overseas?
At World Championships, she does. Yeah. Other overseas races, not so much.
Right.
But she always likes to be there for the Worlds.
Yeah. So does your dad practice pitting with her quite a bit?
Yeah.
Like doing pit stops?
That's one of our regular things we do is make sure we're up to practice, I guess, or comfortable with pitting.
Yeah.
So it's not something we really do a lot. Even at a race, we only do it 5 or 6 times.
Nice.
5 or 6 pits through the race. So it's something you want to have down pat before it really time to do it.
So how happy were you to see the sun for round 6?
It was good. It felt good to have the traction back and be able to go fast again.
The track was the track where it was pre-rain, or was there still a lot of residual slickness?
I would say it was about the same, and then it kind of grew after that. Like the grip level climbed after that. So the last qualifier I didn't TQ, but I was kind of just riding around to make sure nothing happened because I knew I didn't need to, and I wanted to make sure my car was going to stay together and not crash or do something stupid and throw it away just because I tried to get another TQ.
Yeah. Nobody's ever done that. Rona Falk. Yeah, your dad was pretty confident going into the finals for sure. A little bit of foreshadowing here. That shot was such a pain in the ass because I had to rotoscope your head frame by frame by frame.
Really?
Yeah. That shot took me 3 hours. You're welcome.
It's a good thing you're good at this.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm okay at it. I forgot a bunch of questions, so for the people watching, these videos were actually conducted in Medicine Hat, I think a month or so after the actual event was done. I just forgot to ask a bunch of questions because, the mob that you'll see after Ty won at the end of this was pretty crazy. He was basically surrounded by, I don't know, what do you think, 100 people asking for selfies?
Yeah, I was there for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Before I could, which that was probably... I mean, that's one of the things when I was growing up seeing. I was kind of imagining it would happen when I won the Worlds. But it actually happened was pretty cool. Yeah.
So here's everybody prepping for the finals. So I can't remember. You still had to run the semis, obviously. Have they changed that at all? Does the top qualifier go right into the final like it is in on-road 8 scale or on-road IFMAR?
I don't know. They switched back. I'm actually not sure. I think it's still you have to race at. The Nationals, what I'm thinking of, that's been changing.
Oh, it's the Nationals, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, for the Worlds, I think it's always been, you have to race it in, which I don't know if they'd ever keep that because, you TQ'd, but that's still, you have to make it to the main. That's part of the program.
So, finals day, the last day. Yeah, and it's, I think the pits really were a quarter full of what they were before.
Yeah, well, there's people leaving, and then some people stay at the track and wrench on the Saturday or Friday or whatever it is, the day off that you're on lower mains.
Yeah.
So half the people stay in ranch, half the people go to the hotels and ranch. So pits are kind of empty.
So here Scotty's talking about your mom and dad being here, your whole family. Well, not your whole family because your sister wasn't, but he was saying that it's basically your race to lose. Like, did you feel that pressure going into the semis?
Yeah, especially TQing, starting at the front. I wasn't super concerned about starting first. I just wanted to have a good race and not have something fail, a flame out, anything bad happen, because it doesn't take much in a semi to knock you out of the race.
Right.
So that's one of the things you kind of go into like conservation mode and just make sure you get there rather than being outright fastest.
Right. Yeah, I think we're watching the quarters here. I think Cody and Dakota, I think they were in the quarters. I know Cody for sure. I can't remember about Dakota. Have you ever had to work your way out of a quarterfinal yet?
Not since 2008. I mean, I was in like the...
Yeah, you were also, what, 7 years old?
No, 15. But I was in a pretty low main, like it was 16th or 32nd main.
Right.
So not since then I haven't had to do a quarter.
Yeah. I was actually surprised they let me in the pits because I got yelled at so much at this race by Dallas. Oh yeah, there's Dakota. So yeah, they were both in the quarters.
Yeah. You don't get yelled at by people when you're videoing, do you?
Oh, I do. Dallas he hated my guts at this race because this was the first time he ever met me. He didn't know who or what I was. I think it was in Vegas. He apologized profusely for yelling at me and treating me like crap in Italy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
You get yelled at a lot by other camera people, track officials.
It's the roar guys are pretty hard on me, and
Australia was like that was
Australia was so much drama. We'll get into that one in a month or so, but yeah, it was like, well, FRS had exclusivity on the winning moment. Yeah. And so I basically had to extort them with because I donated a shot to them.
Yeah.
And I told them that they either let me on the driver's stand or I'll do a takedown notice on all their YouTube videos, including my shot. And it was every single YouTube video they had. So they're like, you're a dick, but stay out of our way. You can go up there. And then Owen, like the Red RC guys, and Owen and his brother were like, they're holding their arms in the air. How'd you get up there? And even Phil was like, this is bullshit. How'd you get on the driver's stand?
Yeah.
So yeah, there was some drama there. But here, Truhe's talking about not making the cut. He is pretty disappointed. But at this point, he had already started kind of scaling his RCing back. So I was super impressed that he even made it as far as he did, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's if you're not doing it seriously, it's not as big of a letdown, but it's still it's always to be left out of the main or not make it.
Yeah.
No matter the reason.
So is it a complete? It's a total teardown right before the semis, right? On your buggy.
Yeah, that's what that off day is for, is to rebuild cars completely.
Yeah.
Even if we have like a couple different clips, whether you want to change something, like
right.
If we rebuilt both clips just in case it rained again.
Yeah.
So we had all that rebuilt and ready to go, and the brakes on this track there was kind of a thing that really came into play, is having good brakes. So making sure the brakes were scuffed and cleaned and everything was important.
Yeah. So did it surprise you how aggressively Lee stuck to you?
A little bit. It was a little bit startling at the start, but I mean, I can't really remember something that stood out that was super stressful.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, "Holy crap, he's going fast now," and just kind of driving my own race and trying not to think about it too much. Like what you try to do, if you let that get to you right away, it's not going to be good. So you kind of try to block that out, even though he's right behind you. Yeah,
he ended up grenading his motor because he ran it crazy lean, and it was actually pretty warm finals day. It was in the high 30s, wasn't it?
Yeah, the temperature definitely changed, which you had to adjust and change your motor to suit it. So
yeah. So after his motor detonated, you handily won your semi, and then I think Mayfield and Cavalieri and a bunch of other contenders were in the other semi, and in the warm up, I think it was Boots who bent his shock shaft, and he had asked for a mercy 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I was actually shocked that they did that because we yell at people at club racing for asking for mercy minutes, and yet at the World Championships they let them fix a shock. It was really surprising.
Yeah, that's something that I think it's a more European trait, but they want to make sure people don't miss something because of one stupid incident, like especially if it's someone else's fault that breaks you.
Yeah.
They want to make sure it's a good final. I think like they would have done it. They do that for the final too. If something there's a 10-minute mercy.
Right. So here Mayfield is basically just cleaning house. Watching this, I knew right away he wouldn't really have any competition, especially Lutz there flying his Durango through the air. Yeah, he walked away start to finish. He ended up TQing in winning pole or whatever. And nobody's ever won this race starting from pole.
No, I don't think that's true. Yeah, I think that's true. That's not.
Yeah.
Ever been done from pole, but TQ I think has won since, hasn't it?
TQ has, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, here people are doing their predictions. Most people were picking you. I just threw in a mix. Here Charlie said the race for second is going to be really good. Love that quote. Well, there's a plug. Still no royalty check. What the heck? 110 Racing.
Still no royalty check.
I know, right?
I contact the company on that one.
Oh yeah. I'll send my letter to the owner, whoever that is. The thing I absolutely loved about this race was the fact that the bleachers were super full. They had 6 bleachers and they were just packed. And what was interesting is a lot of them weren't racers. They were just people coming in off the street. Oh, there's my first Star Wars Easter egg right there. Stormtrooper in the stands.
I missed it.
So what? Tell me what was this about?
So that double right there was a double that I could take tight and still make, but Mayfield couldn't at the time. He didn't have enough power. So I agreed to roll it, and I had never rolled it before, which I probably should have done in the warm-up or some other time. And then I just turned in the pipe early because I was going slower, and I misjudged how fast I needed to go around that corner, I guess, to drive the right line and touch the pipe, and I couldn't get off, and it was kind of a disaster.
I love your dad's reaction.
Yeah, that's the thing that you run through your mind to not do every time you start a race near the front.
Yeah.
You're thinking, don't do something stupid, don't do something. That's basically what happened there.
Well, it could have been worse. He could have been Cody King, because I think it was...
Yeah,
I think it was Dakota Fenn drove him right into pit lane.
Yeah, that was instant. I remember him saying after the race that he went 12 feet and he broke.
Yeah. Yeah, and the pit lane had metal struts supporting it, so it was zero forgiveness. Metal struts right into the concrete.
Yeah, it was solid for sure.
Oh yeah.
I think some people hit it in racing too, like in the earlier heats, and it was a solid stop.
Yeah, I set up my camera once and I recorded for like an hour straight and got absolutely not a single shot of anybody hitting it. And then literally 4 minutes after I packed up my gear, somebody just turned their car into a yard sale. So here is Mayfield out front and walking away with it.
Yeah.
Until, I think this is the shot here. Yeah, he just pasted that chicane.
Yeah.
Did he damage his servo?
Well, I mean, I can't say for sure, but he did run a lot of laps after that and had his fastest lap after that. So
yeah. So here you worked your way about halfway through the field. You're slowly catching up. I mean, the pit stops were pretty good. They were like an extra 2 seconds per lap because of that fuel stick.
Yeah, they were definitely the fastest pit pit crew in the pit lane, I think.
Yeah.
But that's because we practice it and they work at it, so.
Right.
I mean, the fuel gun helps for sure, but that's not the only. If everybody had the fuel gun, like the fuel stick, it wouldn't have been all that still.
Yeah. So earlier in our little podcast here, you said that tires didn't really come into play quite as much, and yet, like, you basically ran these guys down in 13 minutes, and your pace really didn't stop. And that we just saw your pass for the lead there. That was pretty ugly.
That was probably the most ugly pass I've ever made.
Yep.
But that jump was the hardest part of the track. So it was a crooked jump there's a lot of grip on the landing, and trying to go through there with 3 cars just wasn't going to happen.
Oh, no, that jump made me uninstall VRC Pro. So here we got Mayfield. He's done for the day.
Yeah, I think he might have came back in a little bit. He fixed something and came back in, but I mean, that's just circling laps in. But going back to what you were saying about the tires, in qualifying, that's kind of what I meant with the tires. The grip levels weren't
I see.
Grip disadvantage. But when the mains came, for sure we had the best wearing tire, I think. Our compound and the fugitive style tire was definitely the best for that.
Yeah.
That's for a long race.
Would anybody else have had a shot other than Proline at this event?
To have a tire that lasted, you mean?
Yeah.
Or,
like, did anybody show up with a tire that could compete? For the main event, I'm not talking about qualifying.
Yeah. I don't know, honestly. I can't remember who had a tire like that, or if they did, if that was the first one of its kind. I can't remember, really. I mean, there's a lot of companies now, because every company has one, but I can't remember when they all had them.
So after you made that ugly pass, pretty much smooth sailing?
Yeah, there was incident with back traffic, but it was nothing really that bad, and that's kind of after that happened, I would say just go into keeping pace. Like, I think I caught Cavallari, like almost lapped him, and I just stayed behind him for probably, from what it seems like, from what I remember, is like 10 minutes, because I was just driving behind him, not trying to go faster than him.
Yeah.
If I knew if I had him in my sights, I was safe. So that's all I really focused on, not driving too hard, even braking earlier and smoother to try to save my servo and brakes, just to kind of conserve everything, not taking off as fast, conserve fuel and engine and clutch and gears and stuff like that. Nothing probably would have broke, but I'm not going to drive as fast as I can just to test it.
You went from taking years off your mom's life just a few moments ago to winning this thing. What was going through your head here?
I don't know. It really didn't feel real until probably a week after. Like, I know it felt like I won the race, but the real, like, I guess the accomplishment didn't really sink in totally of what actually happened. I mean, it was dramatic, and that's why I teared up at the end, because I mean, Scotty really gets the excitement and emotion put into the race, which helped for sure. But it's everybody's goal, and to actually do it felt really good. It just kind of got more realistic and more serious, I guess, after that.
Yeah, and in this shot, you actually cover my $11,000 video camera in Champagne. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, shouldn't have been there.
I know, right? Well, it's worth it. And then here's Cody, the hugger, after a beer or 2 or 6.
I think that was after maybe pictures on the track or something.
Yeah, this was I believe this was after the mob.
Yeah.
I think I have a shot of the mob here. The photos really can't do it justice, but I think the mob shot is coming. Here we have all the sad drivers, and there's sad music.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Har said there. I can't remember.
Maximum disappointed.
His cars were looking terrible.
Yeah. He was having a rough week.
That was definitely not a good one for him.
Yeah. Here Mayfield was he was pretty upset too, because he was really confident after the semifinals. Yeah,
I've been there where I've had a super good race and super confident, and something fails, like a servo. It just, you can't really, you're not really disappointed in yourself, you're just disappointed it didn't work out for you.
Yeah, and here we got Boots and Cody. We're both looking forward to Vegas in 2 years after this one.
Yeah.
And your mom's super happy that you won. She's ready to cry.
Yeah.
The only time she wasn't mad at me for filming her. I was so stoked. I didn't know what to ask.
Yeah, I don't think it seems like camera shy goes away if something happens like this. Like,
I know, right?
I didn't like the interviews, but I was pretty okay with it after.
Yeah. Here Tim's talking about how much work there was leading up to this race, as far as like the tires and the wing, because they were both pretty revolutionary. Like, I don't know if anybody even thought a Lexan wing would work.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did. And the tire compound too was one of the harder ones. I think it's still I don't know if anybody has a harder one yet. Maybe.
Right. Yeah, it was X1. They felt basically like Tonka toy Tonka tires, like that were just plastic. Yeah. Yeah, I should have taken one as a souvenir, but I forgot.
That was one of the more, like, usually when you have cool stuff or something new at the Worlds, it doesn't always work out. But to have everything work out
So here's the mod. Like, check that out. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think I'm really glad I won the Worlds in Italy of all the places, because the after and the coming down the driver's stand was all probably the best you could ask for.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was crazy. I couldn't believe it. It was my first World, so I thought that was kind of normal until Vegas, where there was really nobody.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have many spectators, like you said before. There was people that weren't even racing there because they just like RC or racing.
Racing in general, yeah.
Yeah, so they were into it, even if it wasn't something they normally watch.
Yeah, there, your dad was making fun of your start.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to make fun of it after.
I know, right?
If it wouldn't have worked out, it would have been a little more touchy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
There would have been some family violence, maybe. Just kidding. I keep forgetting this is live.
How many people are watching?
I can't see YouTube, not many on Facebook, but most people watch these after.
Yeah.
So there's this is a gainer shot I did in Medicine Hat months after.
Yeah.
Just because I suck at my job. And then here's the...
You're still a newbie back then.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. Yeah, nobody really knew a lot of what I was doing. I had released... I think I released the 3 previous ones, but for me, they're hard to watch. I just don't like them.
Yeah.
Oh, there's... what was that guy's name? He did a Chewbacca impersonation. He was from South Africa, that's all I remember.
Yeah, Tien.
Tien, yeah. Oh, and check how that guy's standing. Like, that is a race stance right there, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we still talk to that Tien guy. He's running extra now, so...
Yeah.
We put it across from him, and we kind of kept it... Him and his other South African buddies kind of kept it a light atmosphere, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not sure who got that panda bag, but...
That wasn't you?
No, it wasn't me, man.
I think it might have been Torrance or Tatsuro.
Yeah, probably Tatsuro. Yeah. I'm not sure what the outtake there is with Drake, but I probably just wanted a filler. Oh no, it was Ryan Mayfield putting a Jake Concepts bag in front of my camera. He always used to do that. That's funny, and I'm not sure what that dude's about. Crazy Italians. I have no idea. So the story with the Looney at the 2010 Salt Lake City Winter Olympics, the ice maker buried a Looney at center ice, and lo and behold, the Canadians won. So I decided to do the same thing for that race. Unfortunately, that's the only one it worked at. You owe me $6 now. You
should have stopped it there, and it would have been... People wouldn't have known if it would work again. It would have seemed like it actually worked. I
upgraded to a Toonie for Australia.
Well, that's your problem.
I know.
Same thing.
Wow. I'm not sure what those guys are. Well, they had like a full stage set up and everything. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Yeah. No, the driver social, that was at some crappy restaurant, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I thought they did something at that track, like the lounge area at the track.
Yeah, I don't remember.
How much time we got left on this? Is this just going to shut off?
Well, we're past 45, so I'm not really sure if it's going to shut off or not.
I heard someone said that if it's past 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, it doesn't count anymore.
Really?
Yeah, like for businesses that are like...
Oh, nice.
It might have shut off.
Yeah, maybe. It's I'm watching the Facebook feed here, and Facebook, and it's still live. It's 30 seconds behind, so it's kind of weird, but... Yeah. So what were any closing thoughts on your win at Messina?
I mean, it's obviously the best point in my career, or the best memory I have. Hopefully it doesn't end on that. Hopefully we can get a good one again soon. So yeah, it's the highlight of my career, but I think it's whoever wins the world is the highlight of their career too. I don't think that's a real uncommon thing to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my parents were a huge part of that. I was super blessed the whole week. Couldn't have done it without God, or my parents. And
for sure.
Everything just came together, and it really, like as bad as it could have ended up with the rain, it really couldn't have gone any better the whole race. So,
right.
With all the new stuff we had working out, there was so many new pieces that it seemed like we just brought them there to try it, but we had done a lot of testing and figured it out. But to have all that new stuff there and still win was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was a major highlight. Before you joined, I was saying how, for me, Come Drive With Us are like home videos, because I'm not in them, so I can actually sort of rewatch them. And this is one that I do tend to rewatch when I'm wrenching on my stuff, because for me it was my first IFMAR Worlds, and it was you guys were pretty pivotal in getting Come Drive With Us started. So it was pretty awesome to be able to capture you winning it. So for me it was like I had to pinch myself, like, am I actually doing this? He actually won this? Holy crap. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, there was parts of it, like sometimes I thought it was maybe a dream, and you wonder if you're gonna wake up and it'll all be a week before the race again. So
yeah, you wake up and it's Australia and you're surrounded by flies.
Blowing flies off my face constantly. Yeah.
Oh man, I had so many ruined interviews from that one.
That was the worst flies I've ever experienced.
I know, right? And they were like, they just wanted to lick you. They didn't bite. Yeah, they didn't bite or anything. And the stupid jerk media guys, they found some huge beetle and they threw it at me because they knew I was like a bugaphobe, and I screamed like a schoolgirl in the media center. It was pretty embarrassing.
I didn't know you were a bugaphobe. That's good.
Oh yeah, I hate big bugs. Like, I mean, this thing was like in the South, they have these things called June bugs or something.
Yeah, we have June bugs here.
Really?
Yeah. Come on.
Ugh, gross.
I mean, they're like, what is it? Like that big?
Well, this thing was massive. And they threw it at me.
Yeah.
It was Phil. Good thing he quit RC.
Just threw it at you.
Yeah, and then I screamed like a schoolgirl, and they were laughing at me.
I remember that. I remember them screaming and mocking you after.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah. So, I don't. There's a few questions here. Nothing. Oh, Eric Lindeval wants you to FaceTime him.
Yeah, I'll FaceTime him.
Hi, Eric. How are you? Thanks for watching. What's happening, dude? I think it was Colin Rudge. I think he's out of Calgary. He said hi really early on, but I was ignoring him because I was talking to you.
Well, hi back.
Yeah, he says, I'm watching you and Ty live. LOL.
Hi to RC Pro Man too, which is Eric Lumwell.
That's right.
RC Pro Man.
Yeah, so not sure what to ask you. There's a couple questions I forgot about. Yeah. I think I'm good.
They're
probably unimportant. Yeah. So Daniel Adams, how big a role did he play in your Worlds win? Like, what was his role from a Proline / Team Tessmann perspective?
I mean, he was. We'd ask him about what other people are running for tires and stuff, and he'd kind of have an idea of what everyone was on and what their plan was, and kind of the idea of what compound around when. So he was kind of the tire guy. I guess him and Tim were tag teaming that, I guess. So
yeah,
they were kind of in charge of that, and if we needed tires, they would be the ones to get them and help us when we needed help.
Was it good to have that presence there from a tire perspective? And did you have that same presence from the chassis? Like, was Hot Bodies as helpful?
Yeah, for sure. Proline it's helpful when they're there. We can kind of bounce ideas off each other, and they can go and ask other teams that are running the same tires what's going on. And sometimes if you're running a different car and you go over to a different team and ask what tires, they're not as quick to tell you maybe as they would a Proline team manager. So to have that inside guy kind of to share information is good. And then as far as Hot Bodies goes, we had the engineer there and the owner of the company and his wife, which is really cool. Tatsuro flew all the way there just to watch. So to have that support was really cool. And it was no one else had that. Like, no other owner of the company was there. So, I mean, to be able to have all that support was really good too, to have kind of more support. And it was a little bit nervous too, or nerve-wracking having the owner of the company there. Yeah. Especially when you're off in the first corner and he's in the bleachers and what he's thinking. So,
well, he was actually underneath the stormtrooper I used because he was like going crazy. And yeah, I'm just kidding about that. No. Yeah. So what was his take? Like, did he did he come to a lot of races, or was he kind of new to that whole scene?
No, he'd been to Silver State. Like, he would fly down for the mains. Right. He had his own plane, if I'm correct.
Nice.
Like it's jet or something. So he would fly to Vegas for the mains and Nitro Challenge. I don't remember it happening, but it's always
right.
It was always late there, so the mains are always late. But Yeah, it's not the first time he came to a race. He was in Japan too for the 2015 Worlds,
Yeah.
which were definitely a one for me to forget. So,
Oh, tell me what happened when you landed at the Calgary International Airport. That's what I was going to ask you.
oh, after the Worlds,
Yeah.
we had, I think they were all from Calgary. I'm pretty sure there was like a welcome squad, I guess, people with banners and stuff. It was pretty cool
That's
to
awesome.
have. I mean, you see that every time you land somewhere, you see like people holding signs and for whatever reason for whoever's coming off the plane. But to actually have it yourself is pretty cool.
How did you get through security with the trophy?
I think my mom was carrying it.
What did
Yeah,
they
we just
say?
put it up. I don't know. They said congratulations.
Oh,
I
nice.
mean, it's not sharp. It was heavy. Like you could have hit someone in the head with it, but I don't think that's what they were thinking could happen.
Yeah, your mom isn't exactly like her stature doesn't ooze aggression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had trophies in the check baggage before, and it came back not as good as we left. So
Right.
we wanted to make sure nothing happened.
So did you? Obviously, you kept that one. You didn't shoot it at the target range.
No, yeah, we kept that one in the mechanics trophy. We kept two. I think we might have gave one. They gave two mechanics trophies, so we gave one, I think, to Tatsuro.
Yeah.
For sure. And they kept the other one.
And you got to. I've been to your house, so this is more for the benefit of the people watching. You kept the car.
Yeah, I got to keep the car and the trophy, which was really cool. And then that second car I was talking about that we did for the rain and summer practice, maybe even, the owner of Hot Bodies let me make that car for him as a replica. So
Okay.
before we left, I got the chassis back that I switched during the race and some stickers. So then when we got home, I kind of put this car together and put stickers on and put fuel on the sticker where it would have just copying off my race car to kind of make it look the same. And I mean, you couldn't tell the difference between them. And he was happy. So yeah, it was really cool that he let me keep that car and give him the duplicate.
Nice. Okay, well, I'll let you go. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
So thanks for joining. Thanks for doing this. Congratulations on the win. Hopefully it's not the last. Hopefully we get to do some IFMAR events in 21. Speaking of IFMAR, do you know what's happening with, like, are they just skipping Brazil and is next year 10 scale and the year after is 8 scale again? Or are they doing both next year? Have you heard anything?
I've heard rumors that they're going to do both next year. I really don't know, but that kind of sucks for the person who wins next year. They only have a world championship for 1 year.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of just a mess. I don't really know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They should just like push both of them back another year, and then the 8 scale could be on odd years and 10 scale be on even.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the most fair as far as being able to have the world championship or world champion for 2 years.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see. This might not even end. We might not race next year. So
who knows, right?
Who knows?
Come on, vaccine.
We'll alternate into zombies.
Cool. Well, I'll let you go. And again, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks.
Take care. Good luck.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye.
All right. So thanks for watching. Let me fix my picture-in-picture. Sorry. It'd be nice to have a producer. I hate having to be the host and the producer and doing everything all at once, but I hope you guys liked it. Didn't get a ton of views, but hopefully people enjoy this after the fact. So again, thank you to the Tessmanns and the Tesman family for everything they've done for my company and for Come Drive With Us. Because again, Come Drive With Us would not exist without Gord, Ty, Leanne, and the entire crew at Proline. And thanks to everybody at Proline. You guys are more friends than clients, to be honest. So yeah, hopefully we can get some more Come Drive With Us episodes happening in 21. I still really want to do the RC Chili Bowl. Hard no to anything RC drag racing. I don't understand how that's even a thing. And I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to RC because like I own 2 rock crawlers and it's wicked awesome fun. But drag racing, come on, people, really? I live my life. So what's the quote from Fast and Furious? I live my life a quarter mile at a time. So what is it in RC terms? I live my life. What is it, like 130 feet at a time? Like that just has no ring to it. I don't get it. anyways, yeah, so thanks for watching. Eric Lindeval, thanks for watching. Lots of comments from Eric. That's awesome. Seth Van Dalen, this is a response to Ellen Smith. Seth is freaking fast. And he's almost got the coolest last name in the world, Van Halen. But yeah, he's super fast. Like, I'm definitely going to keep my eye on that guy, because I think he still is pretty young. Him, CJ, there's a lot of up and comers that I've been watching for quite some time. So I'm excited to see what they do with their careers. You know what? So a response to RC Kevin, I was planning on coming to the Quebec Classic, but I really needed to do the barn race, and it was kind of like I needed to do both in the same year. So the plan for next year is, I hope, is to do in January. I'm going to drive down to Oklahoma and do the Chili Bowl, and then I hope the barn race happens again. I know they got stung a bit with some invoices that they couldn't get their money back on. So I really hope that the guys over in BC put that race on again, because that is an awesome race. And then I'm going to do the Quebec Classic, and then maybe some kind of maybe there'll be an IFMAR Worlds. I don't really know. If it's 10 scale, I'm a little apathetic about doing it, because it's not quite as exciting as 8 scale. But yeah, I absolutely want to do the Quebec Classic. It is on my list, Kevin. I promise it's on my list. I will do the Quebec Classic. Oh my God, Icebreaker! Yes, it's coming. I was actually going to print off the script, but my ex has my printer. I have no printer or a couch. I have an inflatable couch. I'm trying to point at it. There, I have an inflatable couch. So yes, Icebreaker's coming. It's friggin' awesome. Got some really unique characters. Mark Santamaria's got a pretty big role in it. We got this super fast kid. Speaking of super fast kids, there's this young Asian boy called Little Bump. His dad's name is Speed Bump. Speed Bump's really slow, but Little Bump, he's going to be something pretty special. So yeah, Icebreaker's coming, featuring Brandon Rose, Little Bump, Adam Drake, Jared Tebow, Joe Bornhorst, and then a little bit of, what's his name? Jared Wiggins is in it a little bit, as is Tyler Hooks. So it's going to be a pretty special episode. It's going to be awesome. I just don't have an ETA, because pretty busy at work, day job, all that stuff. So yeah, it's coming. I swear it's coming. So yeah. Let's see. Love to come drive with us videos. Thanks, Andrew. They're a lot of fun to make. Honestly, I really enjoy them. Hopefully we can get them mainstream. I've got a couple things in the works with Netflix. Hopefully it comes to fruition. It's always hard with RC, because it's a real niche, and yeah, it's just a real niche market, so it's hard to make it exciting, and there just isn't quite enough drama, is what they told me, because the drivers are kind of reserved in the US, so I really need to do more European stuff, I think, because that's where the drivers really lose their shit on the driver stand. But hopefully someday we get this on Netflix and get this mainstream, because it's a great sport. I'm a huge fan of the sport. I'm a huge fan of the stack of pro drivers we have right now. Hey Joseph, hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Yes, Netflix would be awesome. Like I was saying, I love the stack of pros we have. They're sitting. I gotta stop playing with bullets. Long story. Yeah, the drivers we have right now are awesome. They're guys like Ty Tessmann, Ryan Mayfield, some of the most talented drivers we've had in the sport. If there's an RC Hall of Fame, I think right now we got 2 or 3 first ballot Hall of Famers. Cavalieri, Mayfield. Wow, like even Jared Tebow, and I mean Tessmann has had some bad luck over the past couple of years, but he still is one of the fastest guys that you'll ever see. Driving against him is actually pretty depressing. It makes me want to quit RC every time I get lapped by him twice in a qualifier. Thanks, Alan. I appreciate it. Yes, Matt G. Tyler Hooks has been punched. I have a really, really funny story to tell about that when we get to the 2016 Roar Nationals from Thornhill. That's a really funny Tyler Hooks story about being punched in the face. Tyler's a great guy. I like him, even though he made fun of my thinning hair at Icebreaker. Jerk. Would I do a fictional RC film? No, because they're terrible. I haven't even watched that flying cars thing, and I refuse to. My time's too valuable. I like reality. Reality shows, documentaries. It's my thing. Yes, Preston he just said, I've driven on a track with Tebow. I know the feeling. Yes, it is absolutely depressing, and I'm doing it next weekend in Calgary. Ty Tessmann's coming up for the Nitro Stampede is what they're calling the race. So it's going to be a pretty fun race. Hopefully the weather is good. Everybody from Western Canada, you should come down to the Stampede. I know they capped entries at this point, so I think if you haven't registered, you're kind of SOL, but it should be a lot of fun. And yes, I will absolutely get lapped like 75 times by Ty Tessmann over the course of the weekend. Revisit Thornhill. If it's a spec tire race, yes. The issue I have with Thornhill is for some reason, like J Concepts has really done some amazing work on their rubber. Like, hats off to them. They've really, really invested a lot of time and energy in their rubber. And Thornhill is to the point where if you don't run JC, you don't win. So if they do a spec tire race, absolutely, I'll be there. And to be honest, I would absolutely love to see more spec tire racing, because I'm really tired of hearing drivers say they lost because of tires, or they lost because they picked the wrong tires. Like, we'll get into this more with my future commentaries, but this was really, really true in Australia, because both Tessmann and Mayfield picked the wrong compound too hard. They both said it. I don't think it would have mattered which brand of tire you had in Australia, but it came down to the compound. And they picked the wrong compound. So I really, 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 really want to see spec tire racing come, because I want to see the best driver win. I don't want to see the best tire company, because the chassis are all pretty comparable. Like I said, the chassis are really comparable. It just comes down to tires, and I'm really tired of seeing people picking the wrong compounds. Let's go to spec tires for IFMAR events. Let's find out who the actual best driver is. I'm not trying to take anything away from Ronafalk or Davide, the past two world champs. They're super fast drivers with really, really good programs. I just really want spec tire racing to be a thing. Come drive with us, DNC 2020. I did not film at DNC in 20. I don't do reruns. If DNC switches venues, I'll absolutely do another one, because it's kind of like the Anaheim one of RC. It's the first big race of the year. Everybody goes, everybody has fun. It's a challenge. It's awesome. But I won't do it. I won't do another DNC until it switches venues. And there's nothing against the venue. I only did one at Fear Farm. I'll only do one in Paris, California. And that's all I have to say about that. Colin Rudge, watch out for that Colin guy. He's fast. I heard the opposite. Although I'm so rusty, you're going to lap me 7 times. So Matt G's talking about spec tire racing. Didn't get a chance because of the Rona. Stupid Rona. 2020 sucks. No luck. Yeah, hopefully next year some races will be planned for you, Matt G. I'm not sure where you're from, but yeah. Yeah, sorry, J Capped Nitro 1. Yeah, I just don't do reruns. I'm trying to keep the series fresh, and there's so many races to do. Like, the season I had planned for 20 would have been really cool. Would have had some Canadian content. I was hoping to. My friend Pete Tozer has this really, really colorful daughter. Her name is Brittany. They mic'd her at the Reedy race a couple years ago, and she's friggin' hilarious. So I was hoping to feature her at the barn video. And yeah, that all fell through this year. So my plans for 20 were awesome and just sucked. Will I do a video of my cars and setups? Well, that's super easy because my cars are the same ones that Tessmann runs. And my setups are the same setups that Tessmann runs. So funny story, the first time I drove his Hot Bodies car, I did 3 corners with it and gave him his radio back and said, "This is the worst thing I've ever driven. How are you the world champion?" Actually, I don't think he was a world champion at that point. He was at that, I think that was the year he won the Roar Nationals in both buggy and truggy. I gave him his radio back. This was in Calgary. I said, "This is the worst thing I've ever driven." So a few years ago when I filmed the Sick Cross video at the Proline test track, I did a few laps with his X-Ray and it was amazing. Like, it was so easy to drive, just dialed car. And then I'm like, well, maybe it's just, he has special stuff. But when I got my X-Ray car, it was the same thing. I've struggled a bit with it this year, but it's only because I've only raced 3 times this year. I'm super rusty. But last year, I loved how the car felt. It was super good. Yeah, honestly, like I pay for my X-Ray stuff. So basically, this is unbiased advice, I think, but it's an amazing car. It really is. So to do a video on my cars and setups, yeah, done. Just go to Ty's channel. The end. Matt G. Thornhill, what are you saying? Yeah, again, Spec tires, I'll be there. It's an awesome facility. Just hopefully it's not in June. I don't do 102 Fahrenheit with 68% humidity. That sucks. That really sucks. Yeah, let's see. I'm just going to scroll up on the chat and see if there's anything exciting that I need to respond to. Preston said he loves to come drive this videos. You're welcome. I love doing them. Oh man, lots of icebreaker comments. It's almost like people want this or something. I don't know. Maybe I should take my time on that one. Like more time. Jonathan Bunting said he misses Scotty. I miss the Scotty and Charlie show / the Charlie and Scotty show. It was awesome. I know to get them collectively to a race is really expensive for Brandon or whoever's broadcasting it. So I get that. It's difficult because there isn't a ton of money in RC, but yeah, I absolutely do miss that broadcast featuring those two. They're classic. Like, I used to have World's watch parties with my local friends. We started that in 2008, did it for 2010, did it for 2012 Argentina. And yeah, I loved their broadcast. I absolutely did. I'm just scrolling through comments here. Bear with me. Cool. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching this after it's posted. Next Thursday, I'm not going to try to do. Yeah, I should be able to. I'm packing up for a race to go. I'm going to Calgary next Friday. So I'll be packing up for a race, but I'm still going to do a broadcast next Thursday. It is the Silver State. Come drive with us. The first Silver State that was done. That was the first big race I went to at RC Trucks Las Vegas. So that is going to be next Thursday. Super awesome race. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a guest. I've been trying to figure out, okay, so who should I bring as a guest? So I'm not really sure. Not sure who to bring in. I might just do that one solo. I'm not sure. So EKJ 24,000 is asking, how do you spectate at races like DNC and PNB? Or how do we get spectators? Man, I don't know. Like PNB, make it shorter. So Italy was different because it was like just a sports crazy country, and especially motorsports. Like they had 6 bleachers. I didn't really have time to go into it when Ty was on, but they had 6 bleachers. I think 2 of them were filled with participants, and the other 4 were just people off the street. And it was amazing to see. I don't know how they can do that. Because at the Roar Nats and Chico in the 2015 season, they had the same amount of bleachers, and they had like at any point in time they had 6 people in them. So I don't know how to get people. I don't know how to get spectators in. Honestly, I don't. Shorten qualifying, maybe have a pro heat and really advertise it. Big money contracts. I have no idea. It's the $1 million question. If somebody can figure that out, this sport will go mainstream because it is exciting. It's freaking exciting. But because there's no spectators, it's tough. How young did the pro drivers get started? Will turn 7. Well, I think Ty was around that age when he started. I remember getting my ass kicked by him when he was 9. Surprisingly, I didn't quit RC that day, but I sure as hell wanted to. So yeah, 7's a good age. I believe if you watch the Australia Worlds, I featured a kid named Micah Thompson. He's in that range. He's pretty good. Like he wouldn't beat myself or somebody like Mark Santa Maria. No, he'd beat Mark. So yeah, he's in that range, and that's a good age to get them started. Yeah, just do his wrenching for him, keep him entertained, keep him happy until he's like 12ish, and then start to transition him into, and I'm responding to Arrow's comments, transition him towards doing some of his own maintenance, because that'll help a lot. Oh yes, Matt G, I totally agree. RCGP's 100% step in the right direction. It's just one of the owners was a total asshole, and they needed to fucking get rid of him. That's why RCGP failed. Pardon my language. This is now a R-rated podcast. But RCGP, the guys behind the scenes, amazing. Except for the one, obviously. It would have done fine if it weren't for JQ. There, I said it. Don't care. He threw money at me when I was on track filming at DNC in 2015. So screw you, JQ. But RCGP is a step in the right direction. That is what you need. And they did it right. They founded it as a media company. Not so much a sanctioning body. It was more about the media. And I'm looking forward to seeing their doc that they're putting out. It's going to be really, really good. Matt is their editor. He's an awesome guy. I really, really like him. So yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah. Moda suck. Yes. Didn't know that. JQ. Yeah. JQ was involved with RCGP. Out of one side of his mouth, he was making fun of the industry, and on the other side of his mouth, he was asking the industry for money. So you just can't do that and expect it to be a success. Get rid of JQ, RCGP, be awesome. I can't wait for all the rage emails. This is going to be great afterwards. And this is why. So Arrow, that's good that he helps out with the pit work. So Arrow's the father of the 7-year-old who's just getting into racing. And I did suggest that he transition him into pit work eventually. So I mean, that's good that he's starting at 7. That's awesome for sure. All right. So I'm sure I got myself in enough trouble already with the RCGP stuff, but so the JQ car, it's good. The JQ car is really good. In the early years, he was sort of hiding setups and keeping setups to himself. But in latter years, he started releasing, his actual setups to the team guys, and then it filtered downwards. The car is good. And as much of a loser as JQ is, I love the slogan he had for the Black Edition. It's longer. So funny. JQ for president. Yeah, I'm good. Maybe Finland or whatever country he's from. That'd be fine. Looking good, Cor. Well, thanks, Lawrence. Long time no see. You should come out west for a race or two. Or maybe we should go out east for a race to Winnipeg. That was actually super fun, the RC Pro Series race y'all had. It was good. Yeah, Arrow, again, no problem. Come drive with us. Is a lot of fun. It's a really special project that I was fortunate to get involved in. Thanks again. I can't stress this enough. It's because of the Tessmanns and Proline. So even if you're sponsored by someone else, find some way to support Proline. They're more friends than clients. And I'm trying to, I've been told that I should focus a little less on the pros. That was actually one of my plans for so Come Drive With Us is actually a 10-year project. That was what I planned on doing right from the start. So the first 5 or 6 years, I was hoping to kind of establish what the pros are like, and then slowly transition into some of the Joes. And I sort of started toying with some of the Joes, a little bit with Southern Nationals with Victor Guerrero, and then he up and quits RC and goes dirt biking. So yeah, it's something I want to do a little bit more of, is focus on the lesser known drivers, and hopefully I get that opportunity a little bit next weekend in Calgary. We'll see who's there, shoot some B-roll, have some fun. So yeah, that's kind of the plan with Come Drive With Us, is to focus a little less on some of the pros and more on some of the Joes. Showed up my home track, Gulf Coast Raceway in Porter, Texas. You can go to Thornhill's amazing. Like, I love it. I was a little frustrated that they had so many Roarnats there, but again, it's an amazing facility. And yes, Gulf Coast, I've heard a lot about it. Awesome track. If you're local, check it out for sure. What is my main business? I used to own a store called the RC Depot. I've recently sold it. I still am involved with it from a administration perspective. So I still process the orders and stuff. I just don't benefit from it in a monetary capacity. Long story. But that's my main RC business. Then obviously I have the 50 on 50 production, but my day job's actually a manager at a construction company. I don't do video production or RC full time. So that was to Nathan. Thanks for your question. Yeah, I actually I've run into a few people that are actually in the film industry, and they've asked me which film school I went to, which is actually quite flattering to me because I never went to film school. I always wanted to, but my parents said it wasn't practical. Yeah, I do agree. Moda suck. There needs to be more Come Drive With Us, but it's just tough with a day job and sending out stuff for an online hobby store. It is hard, and these are really time consuming. Do you think we'll see more techno wins? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, their cars come a long way since it started. I had one of the early generation cars, and I ended up breaking a chassis on the track. And ironically, I did a skateboard bash video with it, and I had to fake breaking it just for entertainment purposes. But it was the first gen car was kind of like the chassis had some issues, but they've come so far, and their car is really, 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 really good. So yes, they are definitely going to win some races. I think losing Lutz might have been a little bit of a blow, not to take anything away from Joe and Tebow. But I think they could have benefited from keeping Lutz on. Maybe I'm not really sure. I might be a little out of touch with their drivers. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, the Icebreaker video was won by Techno, so when that one comes out, you're going to see how Techno kicked butt at that one. But their car is really good now. Their new stuff's awesome. Smaller tracks featured. Yeah, well, it comes down to finances. I get a lot of people inviting me to their races, and when I start talking pricing, they're like, oh, crap. And then, I bounce it over to Proline. They're like, it's kind of too small a market. We can't really afford it. So yeah, it's just, it comes down to finances. Like, these videos are 300-400 hours of effort, sometimes more. So it's not cheap, but I totally agree with you. I would love to do some of the smaller track stuff. Hey Josh, what's up? You're still on Facebook? That's surprising. Again, I do this plug every video. If you guys want some pure, unadulterated entertainment, check out Josh Boring's Facebook page. It's freaking hilarious. I love it. And every time I do a broadcast, Josh and I have the same conversation just out of Facebook jail. I'm gonna have to make some kind of a flashing text when Josh signs on, and just have some kind of celebratory icon and yay, Josh Boring's out of Facebook jail. Thanks, Quinn. I try my best. I've gone a long way. Like, what I forgot to mention in my intro was this is the first Come Drive With Us episode that I did tonight. This is the first one I really like. The first three, I was just, I was sort of shy. I was trying to get used to the drivers, and I was starstruck and whatnot. But by the time I was in Messina, I knew that Come Drive With Us was here to stay for a while. So I wasn't quite as nervous or apprehensive about it. And all the episodes from this point forward, I really, really like and actually can rewatch. But thanks for the positive feedback. What's going on with the Wild West? It's a mess. Not many big races out west. No pro line. Truck for tires. I don't know. I'm not sure what's coronavirus has just screwed up RC kind of ish. Preston's a diehard AE guy. Check out the X-ray stuff. It's pretty good. Just saying. Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading the comments. He's a diehard AE. Sorry, I didn't read far enough. He's a diehard AE guy. He tried something different. Got the EB4820, and it's really nice. Drives fantastic. It's very durable. Yeah, no, like I said a few moments ago, the new techno stuff is really, really good. Really good. They've hats off to Daniel Lewis. I think it's Daniel Lewis. Yeah. Hats off to him. He kicked ass with that car. It's really good. Yeah, Josh, sorry, no memes. I'm on an aggregator, so I don't even know if it would show up for me, but yeah, I've seen your memes. They're just so funny. I do so much advertising for you, Josh. You're gonna have to start sending me some cash. AE equals Mugen. Just get a Mugen. Well, that's not entirely accurate. The AE is basically I think it has more droop than the Mugen car. So it is quite different. And I'm not 100% sure, but the Mugen I think has a slightly narrower rear pivot. It's not as narrow as the X-ray car, but it is not. I think the rear arms aren't the same dimensions as the Mugen. So yeah, they've kind of improved it, but there's only so many ways you can make a pillow ball car. So yeah. Let's see what else. Moda says X-ray is good. No joke. It's true. X-ray is the best kept secret in all of RC, but that's not a good thing. Your eye is seriously crazy though, but we'll get into that more as these director commentaries progress. Anyways, unless some really good comments come here, I might be signing off. Just checking my feed, making sure there's not many people watching on Facebook. It's all good. Anyways, I'll see you guys next Thursday for the Silver State, which is the Come Drive With Us 2015 season. Personal coaching? Dude, Nelson, I'm the last person you want to personally coach you. I'm a train wreck right now, so yeah. Anyways, that's it. I think I'm out. If you guys want to send me feedback, it's Corey at 5150grafx.ca, or just Facebook message me or whatever. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I am looking for my outro right now. Oh crap, I think I deleted my outro. Why did I delete my outro? I better add my outro. Okay, so while I find my outro, I might read some more comments. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to. I think Wirecast just exploded. Oh no, here it is. Thanks for the feedback, Moda. X-Ray wanted you to stop posting memes. I love it, Josh. That's great. Before they accept you to your team. So how did that go? Are you now a team driver? You know what? Maybe Josh. Maybe you should be my special guest for one of these. That'd be pretty epic, I think. You'd have to send me some memes beforehand so we can put them up. So we could put them up during the during the broadcast. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Man, I can't find my outro. It's all good. I think I'm just gonna end this. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week probably. Thanks for watching.